team, Stellenbosch, they're coming in today's fixture with a little bit of confidence, but also at times we pair teams in the history as to how they play together, but we've seen and realized as well how Stellenbosch evolved over the years, and they're a team as well that they want to compete, they want to be in possibly maybe the top 3, top 4. So this is a game that also they want to see maybe getting those 3 points.
Stellenbosch benefit from the fact that they did have a game against Supersport United, scheduled game that was postponed because of Babina Noku's exploits on the continent. So since that cup final, they've had a good 2 weeks now to prepare, just under 2 weeks to prepare for Orlando Pirates.
And also after winning, especially after winning a trophy, first trophy, a lot of youngsters, you want to control those emotions. So I'm sure that little bit of a break with that game being postponed helped Coach Steve Bakker to bring back the players back down to earth and be able to focus on this game.
Well, that trophy, the fruit of many years of labour. You see the merits, of course, of promoting it aside from the first division in the traditional sense and not buying a status. Stellies involved in the playoffs the year before they actually promoted. And since then they've steadily grown in the DStv Premiership. They keep improving their positions as well as they look to get on the front foot now with one of their own. Man who's emerged from the academy and has done incredibly well is Devon Titus. Back to Dino van Rooyen. Perhaps unlucky to miss out on the recently named Bafana Bafana AFCON squad. They have one player though in the 23-man squad, that being Jaden Adams, fully deserving of that call-up for the 22-year-olds.
I mean, he's been exceptional for Stellies this season, but also it helps when the team performs well. You tend to see those good players now coming out and be able to be recognized, and for Adams to be part of that as a young player, I can just imagine the goosebumps. I can just imagine when he comes back with all the confidence that he'll bring back with to help Stellies throughout the season.
Evanes Magopa was in your shot just moments ago. He's one of 4 Pirates players who have made that squad, one of 2 Pirates strikers as well. Sekele Lepasa also been included. First call up for you was Casafa Cup, right? Obviously there would have been those same kind of feelings, and then the real senior team national call up, especially for a big tournament, is very special for these players.
It is indeed. I mean, I was about to say with the Adams situation, even if he doesn't play, because I remember in 2008 when he went for AFCON, Itumeleng Khune never played any game, but when he came back, he became South Africa's #1. He was involved in the World Cup. He was the #1 goalkeeper for the longest time in the country. So that experience on its own, it just builds and creates hunger for so many players. So I'm just happy for Adams to be able to be part of the team.
And there's Malusi Buthelezi, who up until that game against Supersport United had been looking so assured at the back, kept a whole host of clean sheets, but culpable, I guess, for the goal that took Supersport ahead and the goal that put them out of touch. Really flapped at the corner, from which Bradley Grobler went on to score, and then made a complete hash of things at the back as Chandra Campbell stole the ball from him to score his second of that particular encounter. He'll be looking for redemption tonight. Yeah,
I mean, the two goals that you're talking about, I think they could have defended a little bit better. They know themselves, and we speak about teams trying to play from the back. There's always going to be one of those mistakes that you're going to be punished, and it's about courage. Do you still want to continue playing the same way that you want to play and build from the back and have that courage? And I think that's a question that is in Buthelez's head today. The fans will want to see if it's courage enough to be able to play from the back, but yet again, the credit also must go to Supersport. They had a game plan and it worked.
Trying to turn the ball infield, easily intercepted. It was a very, very poor pass, and well cut out by Nisset Oro, although Orlando Pirates have it once again. Here's Fortune Makarenge in his new role at right back. Came steaming down the flank in that game against Supersport United to score inside just a few minutes.
I guess it's just cemented I guess I'll say the stability that is proven when given that opportunity playing as a right back, and to score a goal, of course, your confidence go a little bit higher. You tend to see things a little bit differently.
Now Miguel Tim picking it up from Malusi Buthelezi. Odo almost able to steal in there. Dino van Rooyen felt a shove in his back. It's probably why he couldn't connect with that header as effectively as he would have liked. What a servant he has been for this club. Local boy from the Winelands, skippering the team now with Lee Langerveld over the past few seasons, is playing more of a bit part role. As Olisenda keeping AFCON bound Nkosinathi Sibisi on the bench today for Orlando Pirates. Tapela Koki perhaps, and he will feel quite unlucky not to have made that squad, considering how regular he has been for Orlando Pirates. Well, lovely little turn from Maswangani, finding Lodge. Dooley is quickly upon him to steal possession. And Abongili Tom rules in favour of Orlando Pirates. Returning Maswangani is the man who's brought down. Do you think they missed him a fair deal against Supersport United?
I mean, he brings a different dimension to the team. I mean, he's more creative. He's very comfortable playing in tight spaces. And when things are tough, when you play against a team that resort into playing a little bit with a block, he becomes so important in those spaces. Of course, in certain patches of the game against Supersport, they really missed his creativity in there.
Sage Stevens doing a lot of organisational work in anticipation of Dion Hotter floating this ball into the 18-yard area. So Hotter finds Makgopa. Oh, he's completely miscued that. It was a brilliant pick out. Absolutely pinpoint delivery from Dion Hotter, and Makgopa should have been sticking away the opener.
Yeah, it should have been a clever ball they played by Hoto, but also those are the type of balls that are very, very difficult, because you're looking at the ball, you're worried about the spin of the ball, you still have to play it, and with the confidence that he has, you could have at least tried maybe to try and control, but it's easier said than done. But it was a very, very clever ball they've been played by Hoto.
Now evidence Makgopa does have 3 goals in the league so far this season. Scored his first in that defeat, that shock defeat they suffered in the Mother City against Cape Town Spurs. Also has goals against Swallows and, of course, in the Soweto derby. Both of those in winning efforts as Maswangani moves past Daryl Macheke with ease, and then a lovely crossfield ball here for Kimvuidi.
That's why we spoke about how they missed Maswangani. Clever little turn in that midfield, releasing the ball early to Kimvuidi on the left-hand side. Look at the turn there in that midfield. Very clever. He knew exactly what is it that he wanted to do with an outside foot. Kimvuidi finding himself, I guess, maybe in an awkward position there, trying to at least try and force a save there from Sage Stevenson. But that's a clever move rather from Orlando Pirates.
Kimvuidi recently got the taste for goals when he scored against away to Le Mans for Golden Arrows 2 games back. It had taken him 45 matches in South African football across league and cup games to actually score his first. And sometimes when a player gets that monkey off his back, then they can go on and find the back of the net a fair few more times.
Yeah, I'm sure with him as well, it's been bothering. I mean, he's such a talented player. And playing high up the pitch for Orlando Pirates, you need to be contributing in those numbers in terms of scoring goals and assisting. And I'm sure that he wants to get more into the score sheet.
Yes, Dion Hotter, look at the pace from the Namibian. He'll be heading to AFCON to face Bafana Bafana in their group. He's found Kimvuidi again. Okay. Nice pick out. Demagosi Lodge, Maswangani. Orlando Pirates having it mostly their own way at the moment. Flings out to Lodge, lovely take. Maswangani. Lodge Makgopa, Maswangani, and it'll just run away from him.
Orlando Pirates seems to find a little more space on their right-hand side. You can see they're drawing Masongani to come in, pulling on Sibande, then he creates a little bit of space. Earlier on, it was Makaringo on the right-hand side. In this instance, we find Lodge also on the right-hand side. So Steve Barker needs to shift a little bit and find solution, because Orlando Pirates will cause them problem on this side.
Lisanda, who didn't feature in the early stages of the season, as Adams works that out of his feet to Devin Titus, who has a go and has been palmed round the post by Malusi Buthelezi.
I thought that was a toe poke. Very clever there. Improvisation, you can see that the ball wasn't on his control rather, but good improvisation from him.
Yeah, gets the effort off. It's not a conventional effort by any means, but it is tested Buthelezi, and it has resulted in a Stellenbosch corner. They have an attacking opportunity, but I guess more importantly for them, it's just taken some of the pressure off, because it has, for the most part, been Orlando Pirates in control. Now swung in and away by Kim Guidi. Jondlo got a touch on that, but it'll be collected here by Van Rooyen.
You know, Grant, I've always said, when a team is defending a corner kick and all the players are back defending, it tells you one thing: there is a problem in that set piece.
Now there might be a problem here for Orlando Pirates, and they will have to contend with another set piece here.
Yeah, and that's when that's the area there Buthelezi needs to be commanding with his big body. He needs to give some sort of confidence within the players.
And Sibande was occupying a spot on the opposite flank to cause problems there. He had remained there from the earlier corner, and now he has it once again. Sibande thrashed towards goal, and it's a rather poor effort from just a snapshot, just the side of goal. Thought, why not?
Yeah, and other coaches will tell you, when you're in that area and you're trying to play a short corner, you need to finish the action, because if you're not finishing the action, you're creating a counter-attack against you.
By the way, Sibande, sixth start in the DStv Premiership this season, which means he's eclipsed the mark that he reached last season for Stellies when he made just 5 starts. So really growing in importance to this team. And with Basadine doing so well, it's a real fight for spots in the Stellenbosch side.
And that becomes very difficult, knowing how Coach Barker doesn't necessarily like changing the team. He likes to keep it the way it is.
The ball's gone out. Orlando Pirates this season, second in terms of average possession, with just over 61%, only behind, of course, Mamelodi Sundowns, have had an average of just below 68% of the possession across their DStv Premiership matches. In fact, in almost every one of the major metrics, Orlando Pirates behind only Mamelodi Sundowns in terms of completed passes, passing accuracy. So you're getting a lot of the fundamentals right in terms of the way they want to play. Perhaps the results, at least towards the beginning of the season, weren't exactly forthcoming, or more the middle point of the first half of the season. Now Maswankani digs it out really smartly. Hotto sets himself, oh man, a whisker wide. And Dion Hotto is the top scorer in this particular tie. He has 4 goals against Stellenbosch. Fails to hit the target this time around.
Such a good run. This man again getting involved, recognizing that run from Dion Hotto. Look at Dion Hotto, you can see there, and also very clever play there from Makhoba, being able to block for Dion Hotto to be able to have that ball, but unfortunately for him, he couldn't hit the target.
Of course, for the most part, for Orlando Pirates in recent times, deployed as a left-sided fullback, but listed in the Namibia squad heading to AFCON as a striker. So he will be called upon to provide goals at the national team level. Dion Otto netted in both matches in the 2021-22 season. He scored once in a 2-2 draw. He managed a brace in the 3-0 away win, and most recently against Stellenbosch scored very, very late on in the first leg of that MTN8 semi-final. The resistance of Stellies crumbled in the winelands as Hotto fired home in the 90th minute, which actually, I guess, turned out to be the crucial goal, the away goal, the extra away goal that settled the tie. They were against 10 men that day, though, as Stellies now look to get on the front foot again. Miguel Tim will hook it over his shoulder, collected by Temukosi Lodge. Loose touch from him. Macheke. And away, eventually, by Makaringa. Ball tossed back in by Thabo Malosani. He was the man that was dismissed early in that first leg of the MTN8 semi-final. It was 0-0 at that point. Stellies actually were the side who scored first through Torre, but Pirates hit back through Lepasa and then Hotto, as previously mentioned. Hotto with a foul on Adams, so an opportunity here from the set piece for Stellenbosch. Van Rooyen's take, Buthelezi off his line to lay claim to that.
That's what you expect from a big guy, tall goalkeeper. Make sure that you use your height and discourage the opposition from playing those balls. He needs to do that more often to create that confidence within the Pirates' defense.
Makaringa. Darts assessing his options. Looking up. Hooked away by Van Rooyen. Dion Hotto gets it back from Ndlondlo. His pass cut out, well watched by Macheke, and squeezed through nicely. But Miguel Tim intervenes quickly out of his feet to Temukosi Lodge. Option on his outside in the form of Makaringa, who just made a dart forward at the wrong moment.
There's also that delay from Temukosi Lodge. It actually maybe prompt Makaringa to run a little bit more forward to get the ball just behind Savande.
Adams can't find Ikram Reyners. Reyners hasn't scored in his last 5 appearances against Orlando Pirates, that for both Supersport and for Stellenbosch. But he did get the winner for Stellies back in the 2019-20 season at home. 1-0 the score on that particular day. Just ran away from Hotto. Having started today, he's the only Pirates player to have featured either in the 11 or off the bench in every single one of their league matches so far this term.
I also guess because I think with Orlando Pirates struggles from the left back position, of course now with Mael being back into the team, but in most cases it's only been him on the left side of things and playing that left back position.
Nice work from Hotto. The ball in, perhaps not the best from Kim Vuidi.
I guess maybe also the advantage that also he gets because he was a left winger before. So one v1 situation becomes very difficult to beat him because he knows as a winger what is it as a winger that wants to do.
Stellenbosch, by the way, have just entered, or just hit the 7-hour mark in terms of not conceding a goal in the DStv Premiership. They've kept clean sheets in their last 4 league games in a row. Last let in a goal against Richards Bay on the 7th of November in what was a 2-1 win then. Now 7 hours without conceding in the DStv Premiership. Just 20 minutes away from their best ever streak as Miguel Tim drives it forward, hands over the responsibility, and Dino van Rooyen gets a flicked header on that. Jaden Adams now, Devon Titus. And the referee will bring it back for that foul on the baby-faced Adams, still just 22 years of age, and plenty to offer the national team.
You can see with they're still trying to get those transitional play proper. You can see with Titus seeing that Reynes is free on the left-hand side, but with a lot of power trying to counter press, making sure that they don't they disturb, or rather don't allow Stellies to exploit those spaces that they left behind.
That leaves that to go straight out. Steve Barker's side on the cusp of a clean sheet record. They've never kept 5 successive clean sheets in a row in the league. They have kept 4 previously. It was their final 4 games of the 2020-21 season, a host of 0-0 draws. That time around they went 439 minutes without conceding, so they're about 20 minutes shy of breaking that particular record. As Adams picks it up once again from Sibande and hoisted forward perhaps a little aimlessly for a diminutive Titus, who was not going to win anything in the air in any case.
Yeah. But I could see also the clever run from Titus. It's just that he changed his movement once the ball was being played. Because if you're making that diagonal run as a winger, you can't go to a centre back. You need to go. You need to hope that the ball just jumps the centre back and then it finds you free, just like it found Hoto on the other side when Orlando Pirates was attacking.
Lisanda punts it straight down the field. It's a loose touch that allowed Orlando Pirates now to get on the front foot. Set back for Tim. Londo. He has a go. Deflected effort. His deflected effort won the National Cup a couple years ago, so always worth a punt from that kind of range when it comes to Ndlondlo.
Yeah. Always trying to create the space for himself in and around those.
Bora gets it out of his feet. To Sibande. His cross from deep is repelled by Koki. Hotto helps it along. Hopper did well. Sihlunduli not aware that there was a man stealing in. Maswanganye carries it forward. Launch from Kim Vuidi. Tries to return the favour.
It's with the Orlando Pirates with the 3 that has that fluid movement with Kumbuidi, Lodge and Maswanganye. They seem to find space just behind Macheke and Ndluli. I think those are the areas that they need to concentrate on, because they find a little bit of joy there, because the 3 that Stellies has in that midfield, it becomes very difficult to close those spaces down because of the numerical superiority that Orlando Pirates have.
Toure to Ikram Reynes. See the intention there to touch it down for Ura. They get the ball back in any case, despite the fact The Pirates were able to intercept. Now Devon Titus spotting Reyners in space, but can't keep that one in. Titus has been so potent for the side this season. 5 goal contributions in the DStv Premiership, 3 of those coming as assists. Titus also created more chances than any other Stellenbosch player over the course of this season, 22 in total coming into this match. Del Hotter with the touch to launch. Now Titus again. Looped forward for Reyners and the flag quickly raised.
I mean, Titus is that type of a player, right? Especially his combination and understanding between him and Reyners. And also, whenever they go out, if they can't find Reyners, they always use Titus to go out. Yeah, you can see it's in a very offside line. But this is only the first time that he gets in the central position, Reyners. He's been drifting more on the left-hand side. You can see he's trying to avoid that battle between Da and Kloki centrally.
Here is Ulisunda. Part of a defence now that at home have kept 3 straight clean sheets by the Pirates. Maswangani looked initially to have misplaced that, but Toure labouring towards the ball actually gave Kimbwidi a sniff. By the way, mentioning that Orlando Pirates have kept those 3 clean sheets at home, so they've gone past the 5-hour mark in terms of not having conceded here on their own patch. So looking for 3 or their 4th straight home victory. The last time they managed that was in the early months of 2021, so it's been quite a while. If they can keep a 4th successive clean sheet at home, it will be for the first time since 2016, when they kept 5 in succession over a run that's included wins over Celtic Cosmos, Free State Stars, Limoni City and Maritzburg. She thrashed Cosmos 5-0 over the course of that particular run. Done. Dealt with by Toure. Sibande giving it to Kimbwidi. He's got lovely touches. Makaringe forced backwards, but eventually, having tracked him well initially, just felt that itch to put his hands on the man.
He was waiting for that, Makaringa. You could see that he was under pressure, facing his own goal. He had to win the ball. He had to win position back. May have gone a little early. Stellies in possession. Van Rooyen. Lucky looking to come out and meet that. Referee felt as though he was impeded by Reyners. Good sportsmanship shown. Yeah. Now, for Stellies to see Reyners in the game, he needs to be in those battles. He needs to be in front of Kloki. He needs to be brave enough to be able to show himself whenever Stellies on the ball, because they need to find that break and they're unable to because he drifts around so much.
Yes, Van Rooyen to Reyners. I remember that goal against Royal AM where Dino Van Rooyen just carried on going before eventually sticking away. Now he's out of position though, and Orlando Pirates are looking to exploit that space. Maswangani. A tackle by Oloisani results in a corner.
Tackle, you need to be 100% sure that you win it. You can see Oloisani trying to clip them a bit. Luckily, you can see there's a little bit of a clip from Oloisani.
Not quite enough in it to warrant more than just the corner. What can they make of it? Oki's there. Oh, cries of handball. Abakile Tom is on the scene and points to the spot. Well, they couldn't deal with the aerial presence of Tapelo Kloki, who is likely to be the man who takes this now. High drama at the Orlando Stadium. Here's a look at it. Oh, yeah. Now, what prompted perhaps his hands in the air? There's not much of a shove on his back.
It is not much, but also, you know, as a footballer, once you're inside the box, once your hands are that raised, are that high, anything that happens for the ball to touch your hands, it gives a referee an option to blow for a penalty. As much as he claimed that he was pushed, he can see how frustrated he is, claims that it has been pushed, but because that push, the referee probably didn't see, and whenever the ball was headed back by Kloki, it hit that hand. The referee was at the right spot to be able to see it.
Now, so reliable from the spot is Tapelo Kloki. Scored from 12 yards in that Colling knockout fixture against Cape Town Spurs. Looking for his first league goal of the season, and he gets it done. Sends Stevens the wrong way. Orlando Pirates have the advantage. Well, he's become accustomed to scoring big goals from that distance. The equaliser in the Nedbank Cup final came from the penalty spot last season. He's the man who forced the error. He's the man who scores the resultant spot kick.
Yeah, such a clean spot kick with enough power. Very experienced Kloki. He's been in these situations before as a captain, as a leader, leading from the front. Gave Sage Stevens no chance there.
Well, his only goal of last season in the DStv Premiership was a penalty in the win against Supersport United right here at the Orlando Stadium in a game that was very crucial with those two sides tussling for that second spot. There was some controversy around that particular, or the awarding of that particular spot kick. I think less so here. Molosani might have some complaints about what he felt might have been a push in his back, but I don't really think there was too much in that for his hands to go flying in the air like that.
Exactly. I think that's where the problem is. The hands, the exaggeration of the hands, I think that's where the referee may be. So it is and not maybe a push that is deserving of a free kick.
Orlando Pirates did take the lead in their last outing against Supersport United and went on to lose that match. It's something that's happened very infrequently over the past few seasons in the DStv Premiership, when they scored first against Cape Town City at the beginning of this year, right back in January, and went on to lose. That was the first time in the top flight since 2017 under Charles Jonafret that they had actually scored first and lost. That particular instance in 2017 against Lamontfort Golden Arrows. So in the space of about a year, it's happened twice, but it isn't something that happens often. And of course, they will be looking to make sure that it doesn't happen to them twice in succession. Play restarted quickly. Abongile Tom wants to bring it back. Stellenbosch have conceded first for the 5th time in the league this season. Dino van Rooyen, by the way, going into the book. Of the 4 previous instances, they've come back to win once, and that was when Dino van Rooyen was involved in the scoring when they came back from a goal down against Royal AM to eventually win 3-1. That's why he's been booked. Nice take from Adams. Players arriving in the box, but he gave himself a little too much to do.
Yeah, clever Hoto, using his body very well, just to make sure that the ball just rolls out, and knowing how skillful also Adams is. And with Stellies, you can see that the emotion is so high, they need to calm down a bit to get back into the game and not collect unnecessary yellow card. You don't want to play this game, you don't want to play Pirates, Orlando Pirates on this pitch with 10 men.
Flicked forward by Sibande for Ura. Teasing Makarenge. Wants to get the return from Nduli. Does have it, but still with Makarenge to beat, and that's a decent looking ball in. It'll be a goal kick. Stellenbosch in the last couple of seasons have had some really impressive turnarounds in matches, coming from behind to win. They did so famously in the derby against Cape Town City at the beginning of the year, where Devon Titus was the hero, and en route to the semi-finals of the Nedbank Cup, they came from a goal down against Mamelodi Sundowns of all sides. Pirates have an advantage here at the Orlando Stadium. Very seldom do they relinquish it. Fairly nasty looking coming together, although neither Oloisani or Kimbuidi appear to have suffered much after that clash. Kimbuidi looking for Makgopa. Nice take on the chest from Evidence Makgopa. Oloisani, he's living dangerously. I mean, he was the man who gave away the corner, which there were question marks around the way he won that ball prior to conceding the penalty.
Yes, I was actually thinking about that, because he's the person that tackled Masongani on the right-hand side to allow Pirates to have a corner. And yet again, you can see getting stuck in again.
Kimbuidi lifts it into the box. Stellies get it away. Here's Miguel Tim. Philippine Lolo. Now Dion Hoto. Some space for Tim. Lodge. And Dabongile Tom not happy with the tackle on Masongani.
From Nduli there, I think you don't need to do that. Look at where Masongani is. There's no danger there. Just guide and force Masongani to play back. We spoke about how emotional they are right now. They need to calm down. They're causing unnecessary fouls.
So Orlando Pirates have taken the free kick. Oloisani now has to stretch to get it clear. Dion Hoto sets himself. Blocked away by Nduli. And now Adams will pounce upon it. Titus. Sprayed over to Ura. Titus in pursuit. And he'll get there ahead of Timbokosi Lodge, but not able to prevent it from going out. Although he's got a touch on it, onto Lodge to force the corner. At least that's how it appears based on the decision from the second assistant.
Now, you look at the way they got the corner. The first time in this match, they only got this break. Orlando Pirates, they've been denying this break. You can see as much as it's not as clean like how you normally see Stellies break out with his speed, but yet again you can see the determination from Titus trying to fight for the ball and get something out of it. That's why I got a corner.
In-swinging delivery from the left foot of Oluwake Sibande. And it's a clean connection on that. Back with Sibande though. Good interception from Timbokosi Lodge. Dispensed into his path by Evidence Makgopa. And now players in black jerseys steaming upfield. Perhaps didn't move it along quite as quickly as they would have wanted to.
Yeah, they didn't move the ball enough. They didn't move it quickly. And Kimbuidi was free on the right-hand side. And but those are also the opportunities as well. Also, one of those things as well that Orlando Pirates needs to put in their game. Last season they were deadly with Sully going forward, breaking in that much. I think this season they're struggling to find somebody that they can use in terms of that speed.
Lotra hot on the overlap. Hopper can't link up with him. Here's Nduli, he's done well. Titus Serenas. Reyners continues on. Dino van Rooyen has joined the attack. Hockey improvises to get it away. Miguel Tim. Maswangani. Tim again. Lovely first time ball. Slowing things down, Orlando Pirates inside the final 5 minutes of this first half. Now Maswangani, potentially an opportunity to set Kimbuidi on his way. He looked to roll it in there for Makarenge.
As much as you want to slow the game down, when you see an opportunity, especially looking at the numbers that Stellies had defensively, you need to take advantage of that. That also creates, if you be able to create something out of it, you create a goal, you're 2-0 up, it changes the dynamic of the game. Because you're slowing the game down, still 1-0, there's still another half to be played. Use the opportunities that you get in the game.
Across this calendar year, there have been 2 wins apiece for these two sides when they faced each other. The earliest game they played in 2023, falling last season. Orlando Pirates absolutely thrashed Stellies on that particular day. Munari, Maela, Erasmus and Blondlaw scoring. Mervyn Dodge's goal was a consolation. This season though, there's been 3 games. Those 2 ties in the MTN8 semi-finals. And they opened the season against one another in the DStv Premiership, which was a game that Stellenbosch won. As they deal with this particular attack. Just before the half-time break, Antonio van Wyk. Lovely slick finish from him. Assist from Fawaz Basadine, who's not available today. Okay. Safely back to his goalkeeper. He's being closed down by a diminutive young attacker. It might be bringing back memories for him of a week or so ago.
Yeah, he's going to try to play safe, especially knowing how Orlando Pirates fans are. They don't want to see those type of mistakes at the back. They want to win the game. They want to see beautiful football, and they think that there are mistakes that can be avoided. And of course, Buthelezi knows that.
Orlando Pirates really tough to crack at home. By the way, they could equal the number of clean sheets they managed in the league last season, which was 5, if they shut out Stellies today. They have to deal with this. Adam, so... Well, there was no one on hand to stick that away from close range as he lashed that across the face of goal.
And it's not a bad cross at all. I mean, you look at how they attack there with Van Rooyen on the right-hand side, trying to break that offside line. But look at Ori on the left-hand side. You need to be inside the box. You need to be at the mix as a winger when the ball is played on the other side. That's where you score goals as a winger. You need to be able to contribute. You need to get where the bodies are.
Mateke losing out. Kimbuidi shrugs him off. And then the foul perpetrated by Daryl Mateke. In today in the place of Janino Palace.
See, the battle still continues. Physicality in that midfield. Because of also the numbers that Orlando Pirates are bringing in that midfield. It's a little bit frustrating for Stellies, because then they don't know whether to go 1v1 or to mark the spaces, because Orlando Pirates interchange positions very nicely.
Longlaw has won it illegally. We've entered into 3 additional minutes at the end of this first half. By the way, with Orlando Pirates having scored, it means that now 12 of the 13 meetings in all competitions have produced goals. There was only one goalless draw that was all the way back in the 2020-21 season when Stellenbosch were hosts. He puts his boot through it. Kimbuidi got a touch to it. Melusani away. Timbokosi Lorch offside.
I think he knew. That's why he's delaying to play the ball. I think he knew it was from an offside position. He is offside. It looks like a little bit tight with Van Rooyen on the other side.
This is Toure. That was at Marumo Gallants last season, having joined from ASIC Mimosas in his homeland. A couple of goals in the cup games for Toure, including that all-important equaliser against TS Galaxy last time out in the Carling knockout final, but hasn't scored yet in the DStv Premiership. Deon Hotto making a nuisance of himself on the left-hand flank. Retrieved by Tim. Down to Makaringe. Oh, Hockey now. And no one in pursuit of that.
No one indeed.
First off in the books here at the Orlando Stadium. It's Tapela Nkoki's penalty that separates these two sides as Orlando Pirates look to maintain their record of having never lost at home to Stellenbosch in the league. They are currently riding a run of 3 straight league victories here at home with 3 successive clean sheets, and they've looked good up to this point, just in terms of preventing Stellenbosch from really troubling Malusi Buthelezi.
Yeah, they are doing very well. Those counter-pressing, denying the transitional play that Stellies are so dangerous.
Second half, you would assume. Now here's first opportunity for Van Wyk to go gliding forward. He's got past and he's delivered it in. And Devin Titus waiting to receive as Kimbuidi snuck into clear.
That's what they're looking for from Van Wyk, to be able to carry that ball, use his speed, his trickery, his skill as well. We've seen him even in the final. He came on as a substitute, changed the game for Stellies. He's always a good player. Whenever he comes on off the bench, you can see that, like you rightfully said earlier, they want to go for it.
Still just 21 years of age is Antonio Van Wyk. He'll celebrate his birthday in 3 months or so. Melusani has the ability to throw it long. He's been able to toss this into the 18-yard area. Caused a few problems, and Orlando Pirates get it clear now. Nice strength shown by Kimbuidi. Fighting up against Devin Titus, retains it well. Oh. Eventually gets the free kick.
I think in certain instances, in the beginning of this, the moments where he was fouled, but also he had an opportunity to play the ball because he was given an advantage.
Wonderful play from a young man from the DRC. Buthelezi has to get rid of that hurriedly. Adams. Some space here for Titus. Took his eye off the ball.
It's also with Ulrich, was trying to cut in, create space and time for himself to be able to take a shot, but Orlando Pirates denied him that space. That's why maybe Titus wasn't expecting that ball.
With the header clear. Hopper losing out. That goal from Koki means that Stellenbosch's clean sheet record comes to an end. 4 in succession in the DStv Premiership, very impressive from them. More impressive when you consider that they only kept successive clean sheets, back-to-back clean sheets once last season, not even in the league. That was across a league game against Supersport, and then in the Cup semi-final against Stellenbosch United. Hadn't kept successive clean sheets in the league since the 2021-22 season, towards the end of that particular campaign. And although they let a goal in here tonight, you would expect that when they return to league action in February, it's something they'd like to recapture, as Macheke looks to work some space. Also worth pointing out, Teko, that after 14 games last season, they were in 12th with 15 points. You look at what they've managed to do, approaching the midway point of this campaign in 5th with 23 points. So it's a huge improvement.
It is indeed. It's a team that looks like it's going to evolve every season. It's going to get better and better.
Now that shot deflected away, and Titus, it really came upon him more swiftly than he anticipated. And he's turned it wide, I guess in the same manner that Evidence Machopa did earlier in the first half.
Yeah, the ball was too quick for him to be able to react. And also, I think with a little bit of a deflection there, those are the difficult balls to be able to do something with them. And when you get it right, it becomes such a beautiful goal.
Well, the attempt was launched by a man from Côte d'Ivoire, that being Uro, just turned 24 at the beginning of this month, in fact. Scored 2 match-winning goals in the DStv Premiership already. That's Van Wyk. Space for Van Rooyen. Continues on inside, Ikram Reyners to Devin Titus. Hockey gets his forehead on that. Miguel Tim. Launch. Karinga to launch. Maswangani turns it round the corner. Temukosi launch looking to latch onto it, and he has done. Eventually dispossessed, and now Stellenbosch have an opportunity to get forward here through Ora. Macheke. Not really sure what the intention was.
Yeah, I think with that ball, Titus was calling it because he was the point of reference up front. You can see with a lot of numbers from Orlando Pirates trying to steal that ball from the right-hand side. I guess the pass there from Macheke wasn't perfect for Titus to even try and chase for him.
Orlando Pirates have a much better pass accuracy than Stellenbosch up to this point. It is the mandate for Stellenbosch, though. We can see from the numbers over the course of this season and last, win the ball and try and quickly play it into positive areas as quickly as you can. That's reflected in some of their tackle numbers. Last season they had the highest number of interceptions made, the highest number of tackles. This season only Polokwane City have made more interceptions than them. They've won the most tackles so far this season, having done so last season. And then in terms of chances created, only Sundowns and Pirates were ahead of them in the previous campaign. So it does tell a story of how they looked to win the ball and obviously play. It just didn't come off on my checker there. From the free kick though, might be able to conjure something. Molosani keeps it moving for Stellenbosch, and they'll get the free kick.
And the ground, with what you just explained, some will say it's just productive football. You know, some will say it's a percentage football, but also it's the quickest way to go score a goal. Once you intercept, that forward pass is so important. That's why the Macheke, the Adams now that plays now as an 8 in that midfield. That accuracy of that pass, and then it creates that opening that they normally so good at. And you can see now in the second half, they're trying to find that rhythm. They're trying to find those passes as one of their weapons.
So Van Beek's delivery, and oh! It was a chance for redemption. Thabo Molosani has turned it over. Really should be doing better on the edge of the 6-yard area.
He should be scoring that. Good ball being played there from Van Beek. Free header from Molosani. And as a defender, you can see that his eyes were closed. He didn't get it with his forehead. You want to get into those areas. You hope that the ball is delivered very well. You need to be attacking the ball. I know that he knows that he should have done better.
Came up through Mamelodi Sundowns development as on loan at kept on All Stars for a couple of years before moving to Maritzburg. Now Tembukosi Lodge cuts inside, curls it. Lodge comes close as he looks for that first goal of the season.
Yeah, he came close there. The angle also allowed him to try that shot. Look at that touch. You can see also Makgopa moving away, creating that space. And nearly got in target there, Lodge.
Dion Otto. Kimwin. Now Londlo can't get away from Van Rooyen. As he passed the ball off though, it did appear as though Karim Kimbuit took a blow to the face.
I think it was the incident before this.
Yeah. It wasn't a blow to the face, he just went down clutching his... I think he was clutching the back of his head though.
Yeah.
In any case, a foul nonetheless.
Yeah. I guess maybe when he was falling.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Bowled out by Sage Stevens. Stellenbosch looking to move the ball into dangerous areas as quickly as they can. Here's Antonio van Beek, dispossessed neatly by Kloki. Orlando Pirates have a simply sensational record against visiting teams from the Western Cape here at the Orlando Stadium. Of course, Stellenbosch did come here in the MTN8 and win by 1-0, which wasn't enough ultimately on aggregate. But in terms of league fixtures, Orlando Pirates unbeaten in their last 24 visits from Western Cape sides, dating back to a defeat against Santos in 2009. Almost a decade and a half. Abongile Tom rules in favour of Stellenbosch.
Yeah, you can see where now the game is. Look at where Makgopa is defending. You can see instances now Stellies trying to put pressure on Orlando Pirates, especially in their own half, trying to regain their position there, because in the first half Makgopa was high up the pitch.
Delivery repelled by Orlando Pirates. Kimbuidi. Dion Hotto. Rasangan. Miguel Tim. Spots an outlet in the form of Lorch. Philip Ndlondlo sliding it through here for Makaringe. Oh, Evidence Makgopa squeezed it in! That's what he needed as he heads to Côte d'Ivoire next year. Evidence Makgopa with his 4th league goal of the season has given Orlando Pirates the cushion.
A clever little flick from Makgopa. It's the 2nd goal that Orlando Pirates needed to have that little bit of a cushion to be able to play a little bit freely now. We spoke about it before this incident. I said he was a little bit deep because he's forced now to defend a little bit deep. Secondly, now look at Lorch turning, playing the ball forward. Makaringe playing that ball. Look at how difficult it was for Makgopa to be able to do anything with it. He improvised with that flick. Sage Stevenson wasn't expecting that. He could have done better. But for Makgopa, a striker that wants to go, that is going rather to AFCON, that is high on confidence, he'll try those type of flicks.
And some might say Sage Stevens at fault there. It was fairly close to him, but would you say maybe the unconventional nature of the shot deceived him a little?
It did. Because most of the time when you look at the strikers, when they run towards the ball with that awkward angle, they always want to clip it and it end up not hitting the target. But with Makgopa, you improvise. It takes confidence for a player to do that.
Well, Stellenbosch now have a mountain to climb. Having done fairly well on the road so far this season, they had played 7 league games away coming into this match. Augusto Palacios watching on, fairly pleased with the scoreline at this point, I'm sure. They could have won 3 successive league games for the first time in the top flight, or away league games, Stellenbosch. That looks unlikely now. Many of those clad in black now really enjoying their football. And against a really good Stellenbosch team, has to be said. And as I just pointed out, a Stellenbosch team who on their travels have been fairly good this season. About halfway through, 7 away games, 11 points collected. That's the most they've ever collected at this point in a season in terms of points on the road. But Pirates have been very efficient so far this evening.
Yeah, they are indeed. They are playing against a very good side of Stellies, and I'm sure Orlando Pirates will know that as much as they've given them a cushion, it's not a safe scoreline. You can see Stellies want one opportunity, they come back into the game, and as Orlando Pirates, you don't want that. You want to be able to control now the tempo of the game, rotate the ball, move the ball a little more faster, more quicker, get into areas where you can also still continue to create opportunities to score. Macheka continues to bite like he was in the first half.
Leton, though, has only handed out 1 yellow card to Dino van Rooyen. That was in the first half. An official who, in December, the 4 games that he's overseen in various competitions in December, has brandished 21 yellow cards and a red. But today he's kept them in his pockets, at least up to this point. Over the last 6 games he's officiated, he's handed out 36 cautions. So that's an average of 6 per game. But I must say today has been a relatively, it's been played in good spirits.
Yeah, it's a Christmas spirit.
Yeah, it is. Of course, this is a fairly new dynamic for players in South African professional football. Usually 22nd, 23rd of December, they wrap it up for a good few weeks. But since last year, playing these matches around the New Year's period,
I think we'll get to the position or situation where there's a game on a Christmas day.
No. I mean, that's that game you were there in Cape Town, Sundowns versus
Cape Town
City.
Yeah.
First of its kind Christmas Eve match.
Yeah.
3 New Year's Eve matches last season.
Yeah.
Just 1 Again, in Cape Town, Cape Derby, City and Spurs coming up on the 31st. A whole host of matches tomorrow, by the way, the 30th. And Mamelodi Sundowns got an unscheduled rest after their game against Swallows. Didn't take place on the 27th. Swallows won't play Arrows tomorrow either, but still 4 matches to enjoy. Now Van Rooyen puts it in, unorthodox from Hockey. And he's prevented any further danger, and he's actually managed to somehow avoid the corner as well.
Yeah, it was a difficult clearance because he was just crossing across the pitch with his speed, and he's a right-footed player. Trying to make sure there with Van Rooyen, trying to bring the crosses inside the box.
Oloisani, another big throw from him. Kimvuidi collects. And look to try and dart away from Oloisani, pulled back. What this victory, if they manage to hang on here, Orlando Pirates, what it would mean for them is that, of course, they will finish the year above Kaiser Chiefs. Chiefs in action tomorrow away to Skakuni. That's in the last fixture of the day at 8 o'clock. AFCON Barnacles Natsipisi is amongst those who are just doing a gentle warm-up behind the Stellenbosch goal at the moment. And again, Makaringe involved further up the field. He's taken a wicked deflection, and then Dino van Rooyen forced to turn it away.
Good runs from Makaringe. Finds space on his right-hand side, bringing in the good ball. Trying to force Metters there. Also sometimes, because he's a midfielder, I'm anticipating that if he doesn't see anybody early on into that ball, he can able to close it and advance to it. But yet again, he played that early ball for Mahopa to be able to score. So he's finding joy there, Makaringe, be able to create time for himself.
Swangani. Very away by Adams, and then there's an effort from Lorch. Suffered just 7 losses at home in the league across their past 56 home matches in the top flight. 4 of those defeats have been against Mamelodi Sundowns. 2 of the other 3 haven't even been at the Orlando Stadium. They've been at FNB defeats against Kaiser Chiefs. It just paints a picture of how tough it is for anyone other than the most dominant team in the land to get something here, as Maswangani swings it towards the near post. Hockey, and his headed effort goes just past the feet of Nda.
A very tempting ball inside the box. Toki fighting for it. You can see that Nda was trying to use the player to be able to turn, but he is a defender, so he can be forgiven for that.
So Stellenbosch are going to make another couple of changes, having already introduced Van Veek. De Jong is coming on here for Ura, and then Tlantlen Gaga is on for Daryl Macheke. Much more of a ball player is Mgaga. You have to see there's very little protection now for the defense of Stellenbosch, so susceptible perhaps to conceding another, but this is the gamble that they have to take.
They are taking it, isn't it? With all in the midfield, they're all ball players, but it also tells you don't lose the balls there.
And look at De Jong, he's already contributing here, slipping it through for Ikram Reyners, but the defense of Orlando Pirates did enough. And Lodlaw's won it fairly. Mahopa sees that ball run away from him.
Well, so many numbers that are attacking players for Stellies. That tells you one thing also, that they're no longer a team that is afraid. They want to go out and try and get maximum points if needed. You can see that with all the substitutions that they've made, they're trying to get back into the game. Not defensive midfielder, all ball players. Adams, Mgaga, those are ball players. Players that plays normally as an 8, as a 10. But it tells you also with De Jong up front, don't lose the balls there because they're going to play the balls very quickly.
Oh, look at that. Wonderful take from Dino van Rooyen. He's worked some space here, Van Rooyen. Square ball to De Jong is cut out. It was a fabulous switch from Antonio van Wyk. And now Devin Titus gets the cross in. Oh, this might present an opportunity for Reyners! Game back on! Ikram Reyners has cut the arrears in half, capitalizing on some fairly poor defending from Orlando Pirates, and suddenly they have life in this match.
And I thought there with Reyners he lost the ball. Look, of course it's very difficult for Titus to get in the cross there. Makaringa there, unsure as to what is it that he wants to do. The first touch, Reyners wasn't nice, it didn't fall nicely for him, but he improvised with his left foot. Stellies here had no choice. No chance indeed.
It's extremely awkward for Fortune Makaringa, and I wonder if he's just put off by the fact that Indar swings a leg at that.
Exactly.
He's perhaps expecting him to make the clearance. Now all of a sudden,
he is because also the very first instinct, he's a midfielder, he's an attacking midfielder. He's no longer he's not a defender. So those anticipations are not there as a defender.
Well, Orlando Pirates appeared to be comfortable just a minute or so ago, and that's why the old adage goes 2-0 is the most dangerous scoreline. And Abijele in his heyday would likely have hooked that one clear. As Tabo Molloy maybe explaining what should have been done in that situation, I'm not sure.
A coach is always going to be a coach.
Yeah. Titus now, De Jong. They have some momentum to Stellies. And Gaga. Not the most convincing clearance from Ndlondlo. Given away cheaply by Timogosi Lorch. Here's Adams. In for De Jong. And now set for Van Wyk. Oh, that is a phenomenal save. But it is in! On the follow-up, Devin Titus gets his head to it, and in a matter of minutes, Stellenbosch from 2 down on level.
What a game. I guess those changes from Coach Steve Barker, they're working now. They're back into the game. I thought there was a brilliant save there from Stellies. It falls nicely there for Titus to be able to pounce back. Look at here, they're fighting for it on the right-hand side. Very clever ball being played by De Jong, but Reyners putting his body on the line there. Such a great save by Stellies. Unfortunate for the follow-up.
For Buthelezi, after making what was a phenomenal stop, you just got to be saying, surely guys, surely you have to mop it up now.
Yeah.
Frustration for the Pirates goalkeeper, and Steve Barker, fresh from having helped Stellenbosch to their first silverware. We won't count, of course, winning the championship a good 5 years ago. But that first big piece of silverware, just under 2 weeks ago, they claimed it. And I guess it's given this team the belief that they can go out there and beat anyone.
And that's the belief as a player that you want, as a coach, that you want to install that belief in the players. But sometimes the only time to do it is for them to taste the victory of winning a cup. You can see that this is a team that is highly on confidence. They've been playing with a defensive midfield against Orlando Pirates at Orlando Stadium.
Here's Van Wyk. He's been so crucial since coming on. Ikram Reyners with the goal that gave them some belief. And he's won it back here brilliantly. Van Wyk, Antonio Van Wyk taking on Indar. Still he continues on. Van Wyk, his cross took a touch off Moki behind for a corner as they keep the pressure on.
Van Wyk is causing problems. 1v1 situation is always a dangerous player to be 1v1 with. You always want to have a cover from Orlando Pirates.
Well, Stellenbosch haven't won any of their last 5 visits to Gauteng in league matches since a 3-0 win over Sundowns at the very end of the season before last. That was when Sundowns had already won the title, and they were playing that match at Tuck, so perhaps a little bit of an asterisk on it. Swung in, Buthelezi gets a strong hand to that. Ikram Reyners all the way back to Sage Stevens. Hoisted forward by the Stellies goalminder. Van Veek turning on the afterburners again, but even he won't get there. So Orlando Pirates need to respond, and they will be bringing on a pair of players who have the ability to influence this game. Evidence Makgopa, having scored the goal that Pirates fans must have believed would have got them over the line, is amongst those, or one of those who's hooked off here. There's Vincent Pule and Kabila Dlamini are introduced.
I've seen Vincent Pule playing in this unfamiliar position for us as a false 9. I've seen him coming off as a substitute, occupying that position. Even now, being substituting Makgopa, he's going to play in that position as well. With Dlamini trying to have some sort of creativity.
Makarenge receives from Lodge. Dlamini, first opportunity. Man, Ali had to sort his feet out, and he just couldn't in time.
He couldn't in time.
Yeah, I think that Macca's won't be going down quite as well as it was about 10 minutes or so ago. But there's still plenty of time for this game to change once again. A quarter of an hour to go. And Kabila Dlamini, who made his last appearance in the league at the beginning of this month, back on the 9th of December, having played very little football, 17th of December rather, having played very little football since August. Now Dion Hotto, opportunity to put it back in to a danger area.
It was on his strong foot, on his left foot.
Yeah,
I thought he was just going to whip it in.
There's Maswangani. Velcro right touch from him. Do maybe have to feel for Dlamini a little bit, because you haven't played a lot of football. Now you come on, you're on for 30 seconds, and a great chance is presented to you.
Yeah.
Lodge takes it on. Miguel Tim goes for the return. Too heavy with the touch.
So, you know, when you're coming on as a substitute with a game of this tempo, your warm-up outside, it's not as good as you think it is. Once you come in, the tempo is so high, you still need to adjust to the game itself. And the next thing you get that opportunity, as Dlamini did, it's unfortunate you can't move your feet quickly enough.
Well, this would be a fairly devastating result for Orlando Pirates if it were to stay like this, or perhaps even worsen. They've already dropped 7 points from winning positions this season. Only bottom of the table Cape Town Spurs have dropped more from winning positions, as Andre de Jong now spots Van Veek in space. That was a really poor first touch, but he still manages to find de Jong. Oh, what a turnaround! De Jong off the bench to put Stellies ahead from 2 down. It is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable what Stellenbosch have managed to do here.
I mean, Grant, you look at the ball when it was played, it was de Jong himself. Turn around, played Van Veek on the left-hand side. We thought that touch as well from Van Veek was so far from him, he couldn't do anything. Look at him here. He had an option to play Titus. Look at Van Veek being free, that left foot, bringing that cross, that volley there. I guess that's a team that has a belief.
A pair of substitutes combine to excellent effect. And all of a sudden now, courtesy of a goal from the Kiwi, it is Stellenbosch who have a lead to defend, and his first of the season in the DStv Premiership. is an oh so crucial one. Now look at this. Ikram Reyners has not been able to just nudge it past Maluti Buthelezi, as was his intention. Really hard to believe what we are seeing unfold in front of our eyes here at the Orlando Stadium, and perhaps worth repeating that stat from a little earlier. 24 league games without defeat against visiting sides from the Western Cape for Orlando Pirates. It's a run that could potentially be coming to an end here.
And what a turnaround for Stellies. Coach Parker bringing on attacking players, 2-0 down, trying to get back into the game. Oh man, they came back to the game.
Man, well, credit to him. It's such a brave move, and now Devin Titus has a go.
It is a brave move indeed.
Well, there's a little bit of incentive for extra incentive for Stellenbosch over and above beating Orlando Pirates. As Steve Barker alluded to it when I chatted to him prior to the match, to say they have an opportunity here to go past 50 points for the calendar year if they win today, and they are currently on course to win as Pule tries to tease his way into the box up against Toure. Tim cushions it into the path of Makarenge. Get another opportunity to cross here. He's really lofted that into the box. Retrieved by Lorch. Away from immediate danger. Entering into the final 10 minutes here. Dlamini. Lorch. Clipping it forward where Dino van Rooyen will get it away. Only as far as Dion Hotto. Here's the Namibian again. All hands to the deck as Devin Titus tries to put in a tackle. Lovely sliding intervention. And now curled towards goal. Sage Stevens has to palm it over.
Stevens had to make sure with that ball. See with the launch, enough power, gain enough height, with Sage trying to advance to anticipate a cross. He was nearly caught.
Corner whipped in with pace. Oh. Ikram Reyners gets it away. Tim Ngosi Lorch lurking. Collect on the opposite flank. All the big men still assembled.
The other Pirates are playing good balls inside the box. Unfortunately, they don't have more or less of a striker that is tall enough to be able to cause problems for those. But of course, you do have the Dar and Toki that you can try and pinpoint.
Alluded to this prior to the start of the game. Orlando Pirates, who came into this encounter ahead of Stellenbosch, occupying 4th position, were susceptible to being overtaken if the Winelands club were able to get a win. And so Stellenbosch, as things stand, would move up to 26 points and above Cape Town City, not on goal difference but on goals scored, as Antonio van Wyk gets it to Ikram Reyners. He takes care of the situation. Man, this would be a huge win for Stellies if they're able to hold on. 22 games away to Gauteng sides in the league since they were promoted, and they've won just 4 of them. Oh, they make another couple of changes here, so they have to readjust once again. Zenino Palace is coming on for Devin Titus, so he'll add a little bit of a steal to the midfield with Palace. And waiting to learn who else will come on. Often it is Ikram Reyners, to be expected. So a striker for a striker, and I'm sure he'll be tasked with just trying to occupy the attention of those Pirates defenders. The ball comes in once again. Van Wyk quickly to Toure, showing a lot of strength here, the Ivorian. Boji putting the pressure on, and it did score a consolation in that 4-1 defeat away to Pirates last season. Now De Jong, still he goes on.
The game just opened for him.
Yeah,
the defenders thought he was going to pass. He found himself with the space, not enough members of his teammates inside the box to be able to play the ball to with that awkward angle. He just tried there to squeeze it in that first ball.
Not Lamine. Van Wyk to Boji. Through to Mervyn Boji once again. Dino van Rooyen. Reluctant to commit too many numbers forward are Stellenbosch. De Jong will hold on to it. Cleverly clipped forward by Adams for Dino van Rooyen. Now rolled in for Mervyn Boji by De Jong.
They still find space. They're still trying to go on and get the fourth one. They're still trying to be creative in that midfield.
Miguel Tim out to launch. There's an air of frustration amongst the Orlando Pirates players. Otto takes it forward. Miguel Tim. Van Wyk has to intervene. Crowd urging them forward. That's a lovely piece of skill, and now what a tackle that is. Lovely sliding intervention, and it was so necessary for Sibande, who's in today for Fawaz Basadine, to come and get that away, as Orlando Pirates now make two changes. Maswangani, Miguel Tim are sacrificed, Baloni as well as Mofo King are on. Nothing will come of that particular corner.
And now with Stellies looking at the clock, they're going to take their time to play those balls in. But surprisingly so, after they take a lead, you're expecting them to sit a little bit more defensively with Palace coming in. But still, they have numbers that going forward to trying to get the fourth one. That's the bravery of a team that is playing away against the Orlando Pirates.
Remarkably, coming into this game, Stellenbosch in their previous meeting, 12 previous meetings with Pirates across all competitions, had 9 different scorers, including a Lepasa own goal. It was a shot from Reyners that was deflected in, an off-target shot. That they'd had, all those different scorers. Reyners now has his second goal for Stellenbosch against Pirates. Of course, a couple of others in on the mix. Now Baloni, real opportunity for him. Good feet from Baloni as Amungili Tom urges him to get up off the turf. Nothing wrong with that tackle, he says. Here's Mofo King. Left by Hoto for Pule. Mofo King. teasing Borgi, delivering it in. Sebande gets it away. Set back for Paloni. Oh, it's a nice ball in, intended for Vincent Pule. And now Clocky.
That's poor there from Clocky. But you look at a lot of players delivering those balls inside the box there. Dangerous balls that the Moloisane, the Tory at the back there, they need to be able to try and sort them out. But also with the Orlando Pirates, also they're just trying to go straight into that congested area. What else? They could have played the balls inside the congested area, force Stellies to come inside to try and defend centrally, then go out wide and bring those balls. They scored with the ball outside wide, with the Makaringa bringing that ball to get Mahopa to be able to score.
A minute of regulation time to go. Here's a mistake. And Mgaga has put the ball in, but Clocky stretches for it. Now Vincent Pule up to the other end. Still Pule, waiting for players to arrive, and that's straight into the clutches of Sage Stevens. Little touch. So everyone around the ground is anxious to learn how much time Orlando Pirates will be afforded to try and salvage something from this game. It is 5 minutes, Teko.
With all the changes as well, there's so many ball players for Orlando Pirates. They need to move the ball a little more quicker, because then you're chasing against time. You want to come back into the score sheet and be able to equalize. You need to play a little more the ball quicker, allow Mufokeng to have 1v1 situations, Lodge on the other side, but the ball needs to travel a little more faster.
Paloni, Tlamini. There's Dion Hotto in space. Hotto strokes it in. Mofokeng. Clocky. Loch to Tlamini. Holds off the challenge of Borgi, and then he's scythed down on the edge of the area. So a wonderful free kick opportunity afforded to Orlando Pirates by Ismail Torre, the man who turns 26 tomorrow. The Ivorian has succumbed to a rush of blood to the head when really didn't need to be making a challenge like that.
There was no need indeed. You can see his late is trying to improvise rather, and Lamine very smart, trying to win a free kick around good area to be able to punish. That's desperate defending from Stellies.
Yeah,
they need to be closing those holes, closing this midfield, because they can see Orlando Pirates wants to come through the midfield. That's why Lamine was able to turn in that congested area. Not good defending there from Stellies.
So we haven't really seen during his time with Orlando Pirates one of those crackers that he used to unleash for Amazulu Tapelo Clocky. Those powerful drives from this kind of position, sometimes around the wall, sometimes breaking the wall open. Remember, there was a season where, did he get two there?
Yeah,
a season where he scored 5 goals.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's among 3 potential suitors for this free kick. Nerves are jangling as Dion Hotto hits it low. Oh, Sage Stevens gets down to make a truly telling stop.
It's an important save there from Sage. Went down quickly, saw the ball. I'm expecting the ball to go over the wall from Horta because I can see that it's a position that favors the left footer. It was very smart. A good save there from Sage Stevens.
2 minutes of additional time to go. Kabelo Dlamini's corner. With Baloni now. Dlamini. Pirates will have the throw. Time ticking away. Mofokeng. And that cross is just straight behind, although deflected off a Stellies foot. Dion Horta with the resultant corner. Horta launches it in, and that one is over from the captain Kloki. It feels like an age ago that he opened the scoring to Bill Kloki. He has a look at Dion Horta coming ever so close to equalising.
Yeah, and also you look at Sage Stevens. He had to do a lot because the ball is going through so many players. You can see Orlando Pirates players just jumping over the ball. It makes it very difficult for Stevens to be able to see the ball, but he reacted very well to make that save.
.30 seconds to go, and if Sage Stevens can find a good area of the field and find a teammate in that area, they may not have to deal with another last-ditch Pirates assault. As it is, though, there is time, if they launch it long, for Pirates to try one final time. Here's Makaringe. And when he put in that ball that was stuck away by Evidence Machopa, I don't think there were many people around the country who thought that Stellies would get anything from this game, let alone all 3 points. Will there be time to take this final corner? There will be. Could still be more late drama here. Final play of the match. And there it is, the final whistle. It is absolutely remarkable from Stellenbosch. A couple of weeks after claiming their maiden piece of silverware, a game in which they came from behind to draw level and go on to win a dramatic penalty shootout, they have come to the Orlando Pirates slaughterhouse, where Pirates have been in recent times irresistible here at home. And they have done the seemingly impossible, coming from 2 down to win 3-2. They are the first side